Welcome to Breaking the Silence, the podcast where real conversations meet real healing. We're your hosts, Renee and Kelly, two women who know what it's like to walk through loss, face hard truths, and come out stronger on the other side. Together, we're breaking down walls, sharing stories, and talking openly about everything from grief and healing to love, faith, and relationships. This is a safe space for laughter, honesty, and those Me Too moments that remind us we're not alone. So grab a cup of coffee, pull up a chair, and let's journey through life together. Hello, my beautiful friends. Welcome to Breaking the Silence. I'm Renee.
And I'm Kelly.
And before we jump into today's conversation, I just want to name something gently. March is going to be a really gentle month around here because we are talking about grief and loss and what it looks like to continue living even when parts of the story don't turn out the way we prayed that they would. So if you're new here, this space is for women navigating loss. Maybe it's a loss of a child, a spouse, a relationship, even a dream, and learning how to keep showing up in faith and love. And if you've been here for a minute, you already know that this is very near and dear to my heart. So this month isn't about fixing grief. It's about understanding it and removing the shame around how it shows up in our attachment, in our parenting, and honestly, even in our faith. You're not broken. You're grieving.
And that alone might just be something that somebody needed to hear today.
I think so too, you know? So today we're starting with something that I definitely do not think is talked about enough. And that's grief and attachment. And why healing doesn't follow a timeline. Because so many women think I should be further along by now. I thought I already healed this. And why does this still hit me, you know? And instead of compassion, we give ourselves criticism over it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we assume something is wrong with us.
What if nothing is wrong with you? What if your attachment system is just responding to loss the way it was designed to? So when we lose someone, especially in a traumatic or unexpected way, our nervous system learns something very quickly. It learns love can disappear. People can leave. It learns that safety isn't guaranteed. And that doesn't just stay in your thoughts. It lives in your body. even when your mind wants to move on.
Mm-hmm. So like even if your mind is saying, I'm okay, your body still might be bracing for the next wave of grief. Like that
Absolutely.
just is in the core of your system.
Yeah, exactly. And this is where people start noticing shifts in their attachment, right? Like maybe you notice that you start to feel more anxious in relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you need more reassurance. Maybe this is where you notice, like, wow, like I'm really hyper aware of tones, like changes, and just very much more on a surveillance level of like just watching everything,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So, or maybe you go even the other direction and you pull back. You don't want to depend on anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And so you tell yourself things like, I'll just handle it, or I'm fine on my own, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Neither response means you're broken. It means your system is trying to protect you from another loss.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
And
that's huge. Oh, sorry. I was
yeah,
just,
no, go ahead.
I think that's huge when we realize that, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
like it's just protecting.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's such an important reframe. And I think it's so hard to unlearn that,
Mm.
that becomes the norm, especially if you have lived it for so long.
Oh, yeah. And until, I mean, again, like we just sort of talked about this, like it's still in our body until we allow ourselves to feel that in our body.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's there, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like the body keeps the score. And so we have
Mm-hmm.
to heal those wounds. We have to allow ourselves to feel it,
Mm-hmm.
or it's still there.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
and grief often reshapes our attachment before it ever reshapes understanding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think one of the hardest parts is the timeline pressure. Is
Mm-hmm.
to just want to feel normal again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is definitely one that we struggle with, like that invisible expiration date we put
Mm-hmm.
on grief, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I should be better. It's been 6 months, or it's been a year, or it's been 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then if something resurfaces, after that, we think, why am I back here? You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But grief doesn't heal by a calendar, it heals by safety.
Mm-hmm.
So when safety increases, grief softens, you know? And when love feels steady, it's like we're then given our nervous system permission to stand down.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're still in survival mode, if you're parenting um, alone, if you're navigating financial stress, or if milestones keep reminding you of who's missing,
Mm-hmm.
of course healing is layered because there's so many more pieces to it, you know?
Right.
Um, like there were moments after loss, and I've obviously went through it multiple times, that I would think, okay, like I'm doing better. I'm doing good. And then something small would hit me. Maybe it was a milestone or a memory. Maybe it was even just a normal Tuesday. And it would feel like I was back at the beginning again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm perfect example even, last week, I believe it was. I don't know. Well, actually, my memories here lately have been like kicking my booty because, of course, you know, this is around when Bryant passed, and also different things coming up of like after Dave passed, because it would have been like from when he passed, it would have been like 3 months later. So
Mm-hmm.
reading even my Facebook memories, like they tug at my heartstrings, and it it can sometimes make you think, why am I there again? Like, especially if it's like a really hard, like one, like not just a Facebook memory, but maybe something else.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just feel it, like you're right in it again.
Right.
So I just want to encourage our listeners that it's not that I was back at the beginning, because I wasn't. It's
Mm-hmm.
just that my heart was remembering. So even when, like, I was reading those memories from Facebook, and like it was rough reading them, like I could feel it in my body that day. And I could
Mm-hmm.
just hold so much space for myself there of like, your body's just remembering.
Mm-hmm.
It is remembering exactly what you felt back then. Like, you're like, feel like you're right back in that moment, and you
Right.
remember what that felt like. So
Mm-hmm.
I just encourage our listeners to have so much compassion in that, of that you're not doing anything wrong. Your body's just remembering. And when
Mm-hmm.
you can do that and be like, okay, so we're just remembering right now. That's okay.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that I do ever in a way want to forget.
Mm-hmm.
So I went for a drive, and I went and got a coffee, and I let my body just remember.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
here's something that did surprise me in my own grief journey. Um, you can feel okay even until you start caring deeply again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you think, I think when you're on your own, you're like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I got this, I can do this. And then if you start caring about somebody, that's when you can start to notice it.
Yeah. But I think we've talked about this too. Like, I think if you, or people can't even judge you if you start feeling quote unquote okay too soon, or, um, there, you can have guilt with that.
Oh,
And,
for sure.
and, um, and then I guess this kind of goes along with that. And I had mentioned this before, my friend who, you will feel so good. I remember having those moments of just feeling sense of peace, normalcy. And she would be like, well, kind of embrace that, enjoy it while it lasts, because it's,
Hmm.
your grief is going to rear its ugly head again. And, it was almost like, um, depleting, because you're like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm back to normal. I'm feeling this. But yeah, then those waves would come. So I always appreciated her for her, um, being authentic and, kind of bracing me for that, because you just
Hmm.
don't know. You have these waves of normalcy, which maybe that's just God's way of kind of like giving us those little strings of peace along the way, just
Hmm.
hope, that one day you are going to be okay.
Right. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. I think even like the times where, like, I can remember after Bryant passed, driving home from a therapy appointment,
Mhm.
and like that heaviness that's on you. And I just seen, and I've talked about this before on the podcast, um, like the clouds just parted. It was such a gray, dreary, yucky day, sort of matching
Mm-hmm.
how dark I felt inside, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And the clouds just parted and the sun came out for a little bit. And I
Mm-hmm.
just felt like it was God just saying, hang on.
Yeah.
Like it is not going to be this dark forever. There
Mm-hmm.
is going to be sunshine. There is going to be beauty again. And
Yeah.
just let me see a glimpse of that, even if for a few moments, like, hang on,
Mm-hmm.
it was just that what I needed to, like, okay, I can hold on a little bit longer, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I think, like, regardless of what it is that you start to care deeply, like if it's a new friendship or a new relationship, or even watching your kids grow,
Mm-hmm.
you know, huge milestones like a marriage or whatever, like we just
Right.
experienced that. Attachment can wake grief back up. And not because you're regressing, but because your heart is risking connection again.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
when your heart risks connection, your nervous system whispers, remember what happened last time?
Mm-hmm. Don't get too comfortable.
Mhm. And I'm here to tell each of you listening that that doesn't mean you shouldn't love again. It means you need gentleness while you do,
Mm-hmm.
because your nervous system's trying to learn, like you're trying to teach your nervous system, it is okay for me to love again. It
Mm-hmm.
is okay for me to care deeply.
Right.
You can stand down.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a new thing for me to tell my nervous system all the time now. Like, first of all, like I'm putting all these, like whatever brings me peace, like I'm all for it. Like
Mm-hmm.
if whatever it is does not add peace to my life, then I'm sorry. Um,
Right.
but also like in all those things that I'm doing, I'm like saying to myself, like, you can stand down. Like you're safe
Mm-hmm.
now.
Right.
I, I'm I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm protecting you. You're
Right.
safe. So
Mm-hmm.
anyways, and for those of you walking this out with faith, grief can reshape how God feels too. You can love him and still feel guarded.
Mm-hmm.
You can trust him and still wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
You can believe he's good and still feel confused. That doesn't make you faithless.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you grieving.
Right. Yeah. And God isn't threatened by your honesty.
He definitely isn't. Like, oh my goodness, I wrestled so much with him so many times.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thankful that he's big enough that he can handle that.
Mm.
So if you're listening today and thinking, why does this still hurt? Or why am I reacting this way? Or maybe even, why does healing feel slower
Mm-hmm.
than I expected?
Yeah.
Let me say this clearly. You're not behind. You're not failing in your healing journey.
Mm-hmm.
You're not broken. You are grieving. And it truly is, first of all, a journey. Grieving reshapes attachment before it ever reshapes understanding.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if sometimes like people can feel that pressure as well, not only for themselves, Um, but like even for me with you or anybody that you love that you see is going through true, just um, heart wrenching grief.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing of it is like you're not one to put pressure on that person, but it's just like when I saw you going through the grief that you're going through, I just wanted you to be, for lack of better words, better. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I just wanted to fix it for you. And you can't fix it for
Right.
anybody. Everybody has to go through it themselves and get to the other side. And I think we both have beautiful, wonderful testimonies
Mm-hmm.
that God has gotten us to that other side tenfold. But I think that's what, and I think that's really important for loved ones to be around and be supportive because it is hard. I think it's kind of selfish too, because selfish on the part of the person who wants you to be better, because it's just like, you just, it's selfish. It's like, I don't want to see you hurting, but you just have to be gentle and know that in time, you you will get to that place and you just have to
Mm-hmm.
come alongside that person.
I was just going to ask, like, do you think that is, I think it could be both, but I'm just curious on your thoughts of it. Do
Hmm.
you think it's that um it was so much watching me hurt, or do you think it could have also made you feel uncomfortable
Hmm.
to like deal with that or see that hurt? Do you know what I'm saying? Like how you
Hmm.
were you does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't think it made me feel uncomfortable of something I couldn't handle.
Okay.
I think it's just as much as the person who is afflicted by the grief wants it to go back to the way it was before, that relationship to be back, that person to be back, that loved one to be back. The person who is seeing you grieve, they also want that for you as well. Like, I just want my friend back. I want my spouse back, whoever is being afflicted by that grief. And so maybe that is just kind of a selfish thing. But it's also just because, I mean, it just was heart wrenching just to
Mhm.
see you go through such horrific loss. Um, but again, I will say, and I know that you would give everything up to have Dave back, to have Bryant back. I know you would give all that back, what you have now, to get them back. But we know that that was God's plan.
Mhm.
There's nothing that could, that was already written in the book.
Right.
And so, and I've mentioned this before too, in seeing you go through that grief, I also have just seen you just explode and bloom into this beautiful person that you already were. But I mean, just so much growth in
Oh,
everything that you have erupted from that, and
for sure. I definitely
does that
see
make
that.
sense?
Oh, yeah, it does for sure. And I see that. And I know like God did not give me this story for me
Mhm.
to waste it. He wasn't punishing me. He wasn't trying to
Mhm.
take good things for me. He
Mhm.
had a plan with it and a purpose.
Mhm.
And he is fulfilling that right now, like with all
Mhm.
the growth that has come within me. And
Mhm.
that he's using that story for something so much bigger than
Yeah.
me ever, you know?
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I love what you said because I think that's so true. And I think it can be two, it can be both. Like you said, like for you, it was really honestly more like, this is heart wrenching to watch my friend hurt like this.
Yeah.
I just want to make it better. I just want my fun, happy friend back that had her family that doesn't know
Mhm.
what it's like to lose, have so much devastation. Because honestly, sometimes I even look at my story and think, I can't believe this is really my story.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like when
How
I
did
look
how
at,
did I make it through?
yeah, like when I look at the family pictures and think, I can't believe I've survived losing a child
Mhm.
and, a spouse. Yeah, it's just mind blowing to me. And
Mhm.
also, I forget what I was going to go with that. Yeah. So, oh, and the other part, that's what I was going to say. So I see that piece of it. And then I do think sometimes, like, because I just read a Facebook memory and I'm going to share it for this purpose because the post I'm going to share, like, it was so raw and vulnerable of
Mm-hmm.
me, like, just being so angry with Dave that he left us, and
Mm-hmm.
that he left me to do it alone. And then on the flip side, me saying, but I know that I also, like, told him it was okay to go to heaven, that he could go be with B, and that I know how hard he fought. And
Yeah.
so all this stuff, it's just very, very raw and
Mm-hmm.
real. And I'm going to share it again because I also want to share the fact of, like, I looked at that and read it and I could feel how raw it was and, like, say, wow, what God has
Mm-hmm.
done in my life,
Mm-hmm.
where I'm at 4 years later from that,
Right.
and what he's using this story
Mm-hmm.
that he's chose me to carry, what
Right.
he's doing with it is just so. Anyway, and I'm still getting off track of what I was trying to say. So reel it back in, Renee. So yes, you not wanting to see your friend hurt, but then I think sometimes too, because I was very real and raw and vulnerable. I am on here. I am, I was on my Facebook posts and stuff. Some people are very uncomfortable by that too, because they can't even meet themselves in those places.
Right.
So then when you're that vulnerable,
Mm-hmm.
putting that stuff out there, they're like, "Ooh, I don't even know what to do with that," Like,
Right.
it makes
Yeah.
them feel so uncomfortable,
Yeah.
but I can't control that.
Right.
So,
Yeah. They're like, no thanks.
yeah, they're like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a little too real for me," because it makes them, if they can't face their own things, they just can't be confronted with that. Like, that's
Yeah.
too much emotion for them. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right, let's sort of bring this back. If there's one thing that I would want you to carry with you this week, it would be, you do not need to rush your healing to be worthy of love.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to be over it to be secure. And you don't need shame. You don't need to shame your grief to grow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Grief is proof that you loved.
Exactly. In love, even when it costs us, it's never anything to be ashamed of.
Mm-hmm.
It is a beautiful thing to love.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's not painful when we experience loss, but it's beautiful.
Right.
So, already next week, we're going to be talking about attachment and parenting after loss and what it looks like to show up for your kids when you're still healing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And if this episode resonated, I want you to know you're not alone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you really aren't. And you just have to give yourself so much love and grace and time.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for being with us, for trusting us with really gentle, sometimes hard conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And for continuing to show up even when it is hard. We send you off with so much love, and we will talk to you next time. Thank you for spending time with us on Breaking the Silence. We hope today's conversation brought you comfort, hope, and maybe even a little laughter. Because healing doesn't have to happen alone. If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who might need it too. And be sure to subscribe so that you do not miss a moment with Kelly and I. Until next time, remember, You're not alone, and there's always space for you here.